Dave made this beat.
Welcome to Say Like a Champ, episode 304. It's your boy A-Dub.
And your boy Strizzy. Welcome back, SLAC fam. What's good, Joe?
What it do, y'all? Apologize. I was having some issue with my camera, a little bit late getting into the stream, and we're getting started here, but we got some slackers in the building already, and we want to thank you all, as always, for rocking with us each and every
Yes,
week.
sir.
We got Pops in the building. We got Kelly. We got Anthony Wesson, and we got Earthly as well.
Oh, yeah.
What's good to all y'all? We appreciate you being in the building and being on the comments. You know, your comments, we love to have your comments as part of the show, so keep them coming. We love to hear our slackers' thoughts about the breaking news as well. We'll probably have a quick one today. We got some things going on. Definitely, I got to get the baby here in a little bit. So and not too much to talk about. Really, it's NBA focused this time. So I'm gonna go ahead and round out our panel real quick, and we'll get straight to it. But before we do, we got to welcome back our brother, Mr. Marcus himself. What's good, fam?
Yo, what's going on, peoples?
What up, dog?
Oh, my bad. I tried to change it myself.
Oh, we were doing it at the same time. It's all good. It's all good. Anthony says, "Give the baby a mic." That'll be coming soon for sure. She
It's
definitely
coming.
she definitely has a lot to say. So we just once we start understanding better what she's trying to say, we'll get it right on here for sure.
She's definitely a miler right now. She be miling, getting it on.
Exactly. She's too funny, but it's just a reminder of how fast time goes. That's for sure.
I know.
Time just flies. But we did do a quick live on Sunday to talk about the KD trade, but I do want to jump into some trade news in a little bit here because there has been some activity on the NBA market. But before we do, we do have a new NBA champion, and that being the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I wanted to throw this out there really quickly because Marcus, we hadn't heard from you yet. What do you think about the Thunder winning the championship, and what did you think about the finals in general?
I gotta be honest. I didn't watch every game, but I watched some of the games, and it was just kind of cool to see two different teams that in the championship. No Warriors, no Cavs, no Lakers. It's something different for a little bit in the Celtics. So it was cool to see that. I was actually rooting. I like OKC, but I was rooting for the Pacers to see them get in there. You know what I'm saying? And then Halliburton got hurt. I don't think him getting hurt made a difference. He could have. You never know if it was close. He got these heroics. He always does. But I'm cool. I was cool with either one winning. And I was like I said, I like the whole team of the OKC. Even though I wish my OKC boys would have won at least one. But
True.
They got broken up. But it was good. Like the biggest thing the two biggest things I loved about OKC winning was the GM. He's like one of the best ever. I think he's gonna go down. He says a Hall of Famer for what he did because he had nothing and he made things happen. And, you know what I'm saying? Even his team, if you think about it, there are no big stars on the team. SGA is a star now, but when he came over, he wasn't like that. So for him to build this team like he did, and they're gonna definitely, I could see them winning another one or two championship with this team they have. So young team, and I think him getting it, he deserved it. You know what I'm saying? What he done. And also the OKC fans, man, from Chris Paul coming over there from the New Orleans to them, and then doing a thing, and from them build a franchise after that. It was kind of cool for that city, to see something like that. So I think Presti and for the city to see them get a championship, they deserve that. And I think they got a couple more to come to them to that city also. So that was a thing I got out of all of it.
That's what's up, man. I agree with everything you said. I think kind of piggyback and add to that too. It's kind of crazy that you talk about him being, Hall of Famer GM, and I completely agree with you. They took Shai from the Clippers and built around him. Like they saw something in SGA that, obviously, maybe somebody else didn't see or the Clippers didn't see, and they they spent a lot of time, a lot of years, and using all those picks that they got from Russ and KD and Harden, and built a very, very solid team around them, and still have picks left. Like we're about to see a bunch of these dudes who they're using right now probably fall off because they have too many picks still. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy to think about that. And like Marcus said, like they were the best team, but really 2 years in a row they just couldn't get it. I don't think SGA was ready to make that leap last year, and we talked about him this year kind of making that leap. And yeah, it was crazy. I went Marcus. It was kind of nice seeing two totally different teams in the finals and it going to 7. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was pretty dope too. So. Unfortunate for Halliburton though, another Achilles injury this year. I think that's what six just this season or something like that. It was something crazy like that, but yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny you said we're glad it went to 7. It definitely was a battle back and forth. Earth says they stretched out the finals on purpose. And I feel like they do that sometimes, or there's certain calls where it's like, okay, there's no way Indiana was going to lose that game 6 or whatever. But but I thought it was a really fun series, especially starting off the way it did with the Pacers, with Halliburton and his heroics and stuff like that. Like because they had kind of stolen game 1 in every series that far, so that made it interesting right off the bat. Anthony Weston says he found himself rooting for Indiana, but he's happy for OKC. Shout out to Paul George for his sacrifice in building both teams, and that's real. Both of these teams were kind of built off of when Paul George left and the assets that they got for him. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, I'm definitely happy for OKC too. And like Marcus, like you said, definitely to see 2 different teams in there. And I agree, Strizzy, with your point as far as like the OKC being very young, having a lot more picks to go. They should be able to keep the core of this team together for a long time. At least Williams, SGA and Chet, the 3 of them, and I feel happy for Chet as far as that. But this final showed that he is valuable, but also he has some room to grow. Like once he gets a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, and starts hitting his little mid range more consistently, like he can be even more dangerous. So, they definitely got a lot to go for the Pacers side. Marcus, you're right. Like, I don't know if it really made a difference, but obviously it sucks, like, because you want to see it. Like, they can't say, oh, they lost because of the injury. And, like, I definitely feel bad for Halliburton, the run that they were on. But at the same time, too, and this is nothing against Halliburton because you guys know how much I love him. Even when he came over from the Kings, I was like, dang, they got rid of him. They gave up on him or whatever. But, like, ESPN and, like, the broadcast, like, they're so bad. Like, that's all they know how to talk about. Like, as soon as he went down, that's all they talked about for like the rest of the game. And I'm like, can you just like call the game like so we can enjoy it? But they kept cutting back to that like replay of him going down over and over. Like that's like the only footage they had. And that was just frustrating for me where I'm just like, yo, I get it, but like we gotta like, can we just watch the rest of the game and see what happens?
For sure. Like, it's game 7. Why are we still talking about something that happened, you know what I'm saying? Early in the first half.
Exactly. So so that part of it was kind of
Anthony got a good question. I seen that earlier. 2012 smashing it. I don't care what nobody say.
Right. Because 2012
you got Westbrook, KT, Harden, Ibaka. Like they I wouldn't say they smashing it. I'm sorry. They are smashing it.
They are. They a lot of people talked about like this championship and things of that nature and like how OKC won and a lot of people like because they didn't have to go through Braun and his prime type stuff, you know what I'm saying? But and it's true, you know what I'm saying? Like if it's kind of like Jordan in the 90s. It's like so many great teams that would have won a championship had they not had to go through MJ, right? And kind of the same thing, the mid 2000s or 2000s where it's like a lot of teams probably won a championship too. They didn't have to go through, say, Braun or the Warriors, you know what I'm saying? So that 2012 OKC team, like they don't. I love the defense of this OKC team, but that's just too many guys. You know what I'm saying? That's too many guys that can put the ball in the basket. And SGA is a smart defender, but he's not a good on-ball defender. So, like, Russ is killing him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's really killing him.
If you go through the start lineup, so the PG, I think they cancel each other out. I'm going to say SGA and the Westbrook cancel each other out. Mm-hmm. Then you go to the 2 guard with Harden against Williams.
That's almost.
I think Harden's better. Yeah. I think Harden's better right now because we're going about it right now. So Harden to me was better. Mm-hmm. And then when you go to the 3, KD is killing. Who's the 3? Yeah, whoever it is, and then you got Ibaka and Chet. I think Ibaka. I think they can cancel each other out too. And then you got Hartenstein and Perk, which they cancel each other out. They both do the same thing. They don't score. They just play defense and rebound the ball.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be a good game. So I'm gonna take it back, smashing them. But I'm going for 2012 team to win that.
Yeah, and they were both coached really well too. They had Scott Skiles.
Yes,
right? Is that who it was?
Scott Brooks.
Yeah,
Brooks.
Yeah,
but
Brooks.
but I just feel like Westbrook is super young. Then KD young. They just jumping and they just doing their thing.
Yeah.
Like I said, we'll never know. But I just feel like that's a good look. That's a good question. They both were good, but
right. Well, and I think too, like who the 2012 team had to go off of, they were young, they weren't really totally ready, and they had to go up against the Heat, and that was the Heat second time. They were coming back off of losing in the finals when they shouldn't have to the Mavericks. Mm-hmm. So like beating that Heat team coming out with the 3-party, and that was their second year together, second finals together. Like there was no way they were gonna lose that to them young pups. Like
no, absolutely not.
So the competition they were going against was crazy.
Yeah, Pops was dead on right when he said Harden, because he didn't show up that final. Like that series, San Antonio series, he was unstoppable. He was killing that series. That's how he got past San Antonio. Mm-hmm. When he got to the final, I don't know what happened to him. So Pops said 25 beat 12 and 6. I don't know. I just put more faith in KD and Westbrook.
I know.
I know. Much. And they had a nice bench too.
Yeah. I think the hard part is like it's so tough because when you think about those dudes we love so much, and just I'll say Russ and KD more so. Like I'll Harden's nice. I've just never been too much of a Harden fan, if I'm being completely honest. But like I think we put a lot of emphasis on those guys because they were so good. But when you look at it from a team aspect, like this 2025 team, man, they're nasty on both sides. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not going to rely on one person too much. And if SGA is not playing well, Jalen Williams will do his thing too. But I think it'll be a tough one. I still kind of think in 2012, but again, I'm like Marcus. I think I might be putting a lot into like KD, a young KD. You know what I'm saying? Like obviously not the KD we've been seeing lately, but young KD was a killer.
Definitely the Slim Reaper.
Yeah.
Want to welcome a couple more people to the show. Grace said hello, everyone.
What's up, Grace?
Derpy Entertainment as well.
Yeah.
Jumped in there. We saw you
on Sunday too.
On Sunday. So what's up? Appreciate you coming back through. Seattle Supersonics won a championship. He said 2025 is better team, but 2012 had better players. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
but look at this team though. I forgot they had all these players on this team though. They had Ronan Bureau, that's a decent player off the bench. Nick Collins off the bench. Derek Fisher's on that team too. I forgot some experience there. You had Reggie Jackson on that team too. Reggie Jackson was a nice piece of that team too. Yeah. You had Perry Jones was nice. He wasn't bad. Jeremy Lamb was decent. DeAndre Liggins was defense. You know what I'm saying? Solofis was defense too. Kevin Martin on that team too. Kevin Martin was a baller too. They had a nice team, man. And they had my boy to beat. He wasn't gonna do nothing, but they had a nice little team with Westbrook and KD also. So that team wasn't bad though, man. That's a nice little team.
No, they did their thing. They got to the finals for a reason. You know what I'm saying? I don't think their whole team was a fluke at all. Like they definitely had a really good team.
Their smallest player was Derek Fisher at 6'1", and next to that, the smallest player was 6'6". So they had a big team back then too. So
yeah.
But I think it would have been good. But anybody can pick what they want to say with that team. But
of course, it's like you said, Mark. It'll never happen, but it's fun to think about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That was good stuff though. That was a good team. I forgot how good that team was. Anthony West, they took game 1 versus Miami, but still, that was all they got, right? Was it?
Gentlemen sweep after that. And Miami.
But they won too.
Nah, it was 4-1, and I think too. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 4-1. You double check. I'm pretty sure it was 4-1. But I feel like Miami up that whole game, and they just for some reason in the fourth quarter kind of like let them get back in it, and they won by like I think it was close. I think they won by like a bucket or something. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it was close. And then Miami just went on and kind of just.
It's because they woke up and was like, "This is what we did last year. Like, dang, we about to blow it again." Like,
they
didn't.
But that wasn't a team that went to the finals though. I'm just looking at that. That's not a team we went to the finals. That's a team they went to. They lost to the Grizzlies in the conference finals.
Okay.
I got
So
you.
let me look at the team. So what team? It was 2011 team they went to the finals.
Yeah, no, 2012.
But that's 2012 team. They said they lost to the Grizzlies
Oh,
that
maybe you
year.
have to look at the 2011 roster. Maybe it was
So
the
so
2012
20,
finals.
2011, 2012. So that team
Yeah,
they lost. Yeah, in the finals one game. Yeah, you're right. They only won one game that year.
Yeah.
That's crazy though.
Yeah. Still
But that was
crazy,
good
man.
stuff.
They were young. They were really, really young.
We'll see what does happen with the Thunder as far as next year. All the other teams are starting to make their moves, which we'll talk about. But Pop said, I hope they repeat. They have enough as it is, plus 2 first-round picks. No free agents can sign SGA, Chet, and Williams to extensions. Yeah, we'll see
Exactly.
how they handle it. But Anthony Weston says in the East, the Knicks are on the clock. Celtics and Pacers going into next season shorthanded. And that sucks because Tatum will be out for most of next year.
Yeah.
And then Halliburton's probably going to be out for all of next year if it takes essentially a year to recover. So so that's going to be a tough one for sure.
It's kind of funny because it's like, they're so well coached, and depending on what the Pacers do in free agency, there's a really good chance that, like, even just with, like, McConnell as the point guard right now, unless they get somebody else, they're still probably going to be in decent enough shape to get back into the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So,
true.
Obviously kind of hard to go too far without your, being the all-star team or whatever point guard, but
right.
Still tricky.
I do wanna give a shout out though to McConnell because he's a really smart player.
Yeah.
He obviously isn't gonna jump out of the gym or has crazy athleticism, but he knows how to play the game. We've been watching him closely since he was on Philly. But and then also Siakam, he balled out for the Pacers regardless. Like now watching more in the finals closer, I see why he probably got MVP of the Eastern Conference Finals because Siakam was balling out like for the Pacers. He was that leader, and after Halliburton went down, he kept going hard and trying to keep them in it, which they kind of did as far as the end of the first half, but then the Thunder came out second half was like quick play.
Yeah, I feel like in the first half they wanted to do it for Halliburton. You know what I'm saying? It was like, we got to do this for him, and then you go into the halftime, kind of calm down a little bit. Obviously, great coaches make adjustments, and it just came down on them hard in the second half.
Yeah, for sure. But good stuff. Obviously, we talked about the KD trade a little bit, but Marcus, I wanted to get your thoughts on that before we talk about the other trades. What did you think of KD to the Rockets?
It's a good move for the Rockets, but you're not getting KD. You're getting this old guy to me. I don't think he's gonna play a lot of games. I think they'll be decent. It depends on Fred VanVleet if he gonna stay. That help him out a little bit. You got man, he's pretty good. You got the young Jokic over there too. But I don't see them. I still don't see them better than OKC. I don't see that. Unless KD to his old self, which I don't think he's gonna be his old self. Got a great coach over there too, but it's cool to get him out. But he been to too many teams already, So it's like okay, KD gone again, So that's kind of like it's kind of gone. So since he went to Golden State, it wasn't a big deal. Now if he was still in Brooklyn and all of a sudden he moved, and okay, cool. But you went to the Suns, you didn't do anything there, and now you go on there, and I don't see. To me, the Suns was a better team than he going to the Rockets right now. So and they didn't do anything. So I don't think people are scared of KD no more. I don't think he has enough in the tank. Like I said, I think he'll do enough. He gonna have to miss a lot of games to be healthy for the playoffs or have enough for the playoffs. But I don't see them doing anything. And people say they tell contenders. I don't think so. And you lost your defensive guy too. So with Dylan Brooks leaving, but I think it's cool for the preseason. I think it's cool for the beginning of the season. Oh, KD. By the time we get to All-Star break, we're gonna be like, oh, he ain't playing. He ain't gonna make the All-Star game. So we'll see.
Yeah, I do think it's like for Houston, they gave up on some young pieces, right? But they want that consistent scorer. They'll get 20 to 25 a game from him, but will they be better than they were last year, or will they kind of be in the same spot? Like that's what I'm interested to see for sure. And it does suck that a player of KD's magnitude, now he's played for 5 different teams now, and it makes his resume look more iffy.
Yeah, but, yeah. No, honestly, I agree. It just especially when you start looking at these type of players. This is what happens towards the end of their career, right? You look at somebody like Shaq, who was just on like a tour. So he was just like, where can I go next? Who can I go play with next? Yeah, exactly. Well, like you said, 1 year at a time.
Trevor, our brother, man. What's up, Trevor?
Yeah, you almost kind of knew he was going to pop in at some point. He got to get his licks in. His boys won the championship, so that's what's up, man. Trevor's been
OKC fan.
Oh yeah, he's been an OKC fan for a minute. No bandwagon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he been an OKC fan for ever, really. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, shout out to our boy. You know what I'm saying? His boys got it done for sure. But I know I talked a little bit about it on Sunday with the KD stuff, but I think I guess time will tell, right? Because we talked about them in the playoffs against the Warriors, and it was just kind of like they led almost the entire game in every game until the fourth quarter came around, and they didn't have the Rockets didn't have a Steph or a Jimmy. You know what I'm saying? I kept saying they need a guy who could just go down there and get him a solid bucket, and that guy right now is probably going to be KD. So like Marcus said, if he's got to play in all 82 games, he ain't going to be there. You know what I'm saying? The best trade is availability. You know what I'm saying? If he got to go out there and do this 82 games, somewhere down the line, he ain't gonna be in the playoffs because he's gonna be hurt. But he misses some games and get there. I think he'll be all right. But
yeah,
we'll see.
Do y'all believe that? Did y'all believe the way he found out? He really just found out when everybody else found out, or you think he knew it was happening? Cause you see what he was doing an interview when it happened.
I think he knew, and he was probably caught off guard that everybody else had found out. Maybe he just didn't know it was being announced yet.
He was like, "What?"
Because
yeah, that's true.
He doesn't have a no trade clause, but he obviously knew it's going to come down to these three teams. And
yeah, I mean, he gave him a list. He basically was like, if you can get me to one of these three teams,
because he wasn't going to sign long term with anybody else, and nobody was going to give anything for a 1 year rental. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So does Jalen Green go somewhere else because he the same as their Devin Booker? So they were saying something about him he might not be playing there, but Dylan Brooks will probably stay. You think that's true?
I don't know what would happen because I was thinking that too. Though they have all guards on their team, they don't have anybody else. They don't have a point guard, and they don't have a lot of bigs. So all of their guys are kind of very similar, small forwards, shooting guards.
If the Suns do this correctly, they need to. I mean, maybe they don't have as much time because obviously Devin Booker is not 23. You know what I'm saying? But they need to. I already hear Bill is gone, and if it's either they're going to buy him out because they're probably not going to be able to trade for him, so they're talking about buying him out, which is going to hurt. But they need to essentially build around Booker, and they definitely need a point guard, a real one. Tyus Jones ain't going to do it, and.
Dang, man, you can't get Tyus.
Nah. So the thing is with Tyus is I think Tyus is a phenomenal point guard for the second unit. You know what I'm saying? But to be the point guard that you needed him to be with the first, I just think it didn't work out. They have a new coach this year. Maybe something changes. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they can get more out of him with a new coach and a different system. KD gone, maybe Bill's gone. Maybe they can fix some things, but they got to get rid of.
They got a coach already.
Yeah, they got the dude from Michigan State, didn't they? When that dude they got?
The Suns, they got the guy from the Cavs. He was the assistant coach for the Cavs.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know they got a coach already. Dang.
Yeah, Jordan Hott.
But isn't he Michigan State alumni though? I could have sworn he was, right?
I don't know.
I thought he was. I could be wrong, but I thought he was Michigan State alumni because we were.
So Mike Malone still out there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I feel like him and Jalen Green are just so similar. I almost feel like you package it. If you could get a solid point guard, not a run-of-the-mill point guard, it's got to be someone worth it. But you could use him as another trading piece to get somebody else to come in and help Book. But they need some bigs. They need some help on the power forward and center spot because they got nothing right now.
And the funniest thing is they were so close, when they actually just built the team the right way, and then they blew it up trying to grab names, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
It is crazy. We'll see. We'll have to see what they end up doing.
Would you get rid of Bill and get the ball boys over there? Or that's still too much?
I think so, but Bill he has a no trade clause, so he could still mess it up for you.
He's getting bought out. Yeah, he's getting. I mean, they're not giving up on Ball, not for a trade. I think Bill gets bought out. I think Bill's going to end up somewhere on his own because they're just, I don't know. I guess from what I've seen, he's been difficult. Yes, the nice way to put it. He's been difficult.
Well, now it's like his chance because they freaking used him as a scapegoat. So he's like, all right, why am I going to play nice with y'all? Like, I still don't know why it was so bad. I get why it didn't really totally work, but still, like, they didn't even make the playoffs. Like, they didn't even make the play-in with that team.
Facts.
That's crazy.
Facts. Yeah, that's wild.
I want to welcome Dee to the show. Thank you, Mama Dee. She said, keep up the good work. We appreciate you. And yeah, like we said, this is really just like wanted to wrap up the NBA season. But a few other trades to talk about. I know we got to dip up off of here pretty quickly, so we're going to wind it down with this. We'll have all summer, obviously, to talk about these trades, and I think that there's going to be some more coming, especially with the draft being tomorrow night. So we'll see what else happens, but I wanted to just see like a who won or lost these trades. If you guys, or just a quick reaction to these trades, the Celtics basically blowing it up. They traded Drew Holiday to the Trailblazers for Anthony Simmons, and then they traded Kristaps Porzingis for Niang and a second round pick, which is kind of crazy, but they're another team that
why break it up?
And now they're ready to break it up. Yeah. I guess it was a fluke, but I think it's the money long term. I think they went all in for it right away, and then they realized, okay, we can't keep a team with the depth around this, and Horford's
they were supposed to win this year.
Right. It was like all in for the repeat, and then when that didn't happen, they're like, all right.
Blow it up.
And with Tatum being out all next year, like you can't be that top heavy.
Yeah, I got you.
I even saw something that said, like, they initially said that, JB and JT were off the table, and then they, I guess, recently have come out that they're listing the offers for Jaylen Brown, but they got to be like we eight first rounders, you know what I'm saying, or something crazy, you know what I mean? So chances are they're not getting rid of Jaylen Brown, but I guess they're listening.
Yeah. Anthony Weston says that means they know Tatum is out and those contracts would be paying luxury. And that's the thing. This team just got sold last year, which we'll have to talk about the Lakers being sold too another time. But this team just got sold last year. These new owners are like, look, we got the championship, we got the name and everything, but we're not trying to go too crazy with the spending. So we'll see what the Celtics' ultimate form is. I don't think that they would trade Jaylen Brown, but that would be crazy if they really do. But Holiday obviously was a key piece of the championship. KP was.
And Porzingis, that's two big pieces. That's what you was missing. That's why you won a championship too. Right. So they gonna go back to the regular Celtics now unless they can replace them. But
right, the window kind of opened real quick and closed. It looked like they had it going on, but the other one, this is kind of an interesting one. Two teams that are not really that great, right? But the Pelicans trading Jordan Poole for CJ McCollum. Essentially, that's what it is. The Wizards now are just trying to basically dump salary, and they got a little bit older. But for the Pelicans, it's not too bad to build around Zion with Jordan Poole, get a little bit younger, and get a pick in tomorrow's draft. But what you guys think about this one? Inconsequential or what any?
I don't think anything to talk about. Yeah, me neither. We talked about this a little bit ago. I said, best trade is availability, and it's like, as great as Zion is when he's healthy, he's never healthy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you said, you get a little bit younger with Jordan Poole, but I don't know. It don't really do anything for me. And I feel like if I'm McCollum, I'm kind of pissed because I'm going to this horrendous Rand team, this horrendous Rand organization. You know what I'm saying? And
city.
Exactly. So
I do hope
CJ, I'm just like I'm out. I'm trying to be out there ASAP.
That's what I hope he's just like lets them know, like, I don't want to be here. I'm going to be miserable, like, and just tries to negotiate a buyout and hit free agency. Then he can at least do something. And their whole idea, I think, is like shedding salary as well and going for players on 1-year deals. So, I do feel bad for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I hope he got enough money, man, because his career is pretty much done.
Yeah, I think he'll be all right. Yeah,
he usually got paid his last check when we went to New Orleans, but. Yeah, I don't know.
That's why if I was him, I'd be like, let me just get a bot out of here. I don't want to play here. And then he has an option at least to go to somewhere else. So we'll see. But like I said, I do think more trades will be going down before tomorrow, or hopefully with tomorrow. With the NBA, always draft nights, people get shifted all around. But the one thing we do know is Cooper Flagg will be being drafted number 1. by the Mavs, and we'll have to talk about what their kind of roster looks like going forward to see when they get healthy what we think of them. But yeah, but just a lot of NBA news there real quick that I wanted us to hit on before we dip out of here. Nothing really too crazy going on in MLB or football, so I think we'll just shut it down right there, and we'll plan on catching you guys next week. But again, want to thank y'all for being here in the building. Pops, Kelly, Ant, Trevor, Derpy, D, our boy Earthly. We appreciate y'all rocking with us. But until next time, that was Say Like a Champ. It's your boy A-Dub.
And your boy Shizzy.
Taco Tuesday, man. Peace out.
Tuesday.